Hey, how's it going? This is Riley with ClickLaw. Today I'm going to be showing you my exact process of ranking law firm websites higher on Google, and I'm just going to jump right into it for you. First thing I'm going to do here is show you just real quick. I'm going to jump back into this, the website that we're going to be looking at today. I'm going to take you through my full process, and hopefully you learned something. If you have any questions at the end, just let me know. I also have a checklist here that I'm going to bring up shortly for you to see, and let's get right into it. So first thing I'm going to do here is bring up Ahrefs. This is the SEO software that I use to do all my SEO research. The keyword that I'm going to be looking at today is real estate attorney Nashville. Don't let this discourage you if you're not or deter you if you're not a real estate attorney and you're also or you're also not operating in Nashville. Everything I tell you here in this video will be evergreen. You will be able to use it for your own practice. Just think about your own services and your own city as you go through the video. So first thing I want to do is kind of tell you about why SEO is so important, why this is something that you should be paying attention to. What I want to show you right here, I know there's a lot of data here, so I'm just going to walk you through some of it. The important parts, this is Ahrefs' idea of how difficult it would be to rank. So as you can see, it'd be very easy to rank, yet it would be very valuable for you, and I'm going to show you why right now. Ahrefs estimates that there's 150 people searching for this term every single month, and I'm going to scroll down here in just a second and show you the actual traffic numbers for some of these websites that are ranking here. But 150 people every single month, if you can get in front of those just by optimizing your website, you'd be bringing in at least a handful new clients or at least a handful of new leads every single month just because your website's optimized. So I'm going to scroll down here real quickly. And I'm going to show you, so this is the search engine results page. So if you Googled real estate attorney Nashville, these are the links that you would see. This is just a condensed version. I'll actually show you what the term actually looks like when you do search it. So what you saw in Ahrefs is just this whole screen condensed down to make it easier to see all of the results that are in that are showing up for that keyword. So as you can see, this is just normal. Everyone that's used Google knows what this looks like. And so I'm going to jump back into Ahrefs here. So what you see here are, again, all of those links. And I want to bring your attention over to this number or this column, the traffic column here. This is showing the average monthly visitors to the website for this keyword. So if you search real estate attorney Nashville, this website that's ranking number one, our Pepper Law, is getting 141 traffic every single month just because they're optimized for this keyword. So what would that mean for your practice? I like to say, imagine 10% of those are converting to new clients. There's 14 new clients every single month just because their website is optimized, and that is a large amount of new revenue for your business. If you're able and willing to optimize your website and take some of these top spots, as you can see, it kind of goes down here. Obviously, the first spot takes most of the traffic, second spot gets second most traffic, and then so on. Kind of gets jumbled up here in the middle. These websites are ranking for different keywords, but still very valuable. I mean, imagine if you're just ranking in the third spot even, and you're getting 6 new clients or 4, 5, 6 new clients every single month just because you've optimized your website. So that is why this is so valuable for you. And right now, I'm going to take you through my exact process and the things that I look at. And part of that, or most of that, has to do with this very high-level SEO checklist that I put together. Again, this is very basic in just the top level of what goes on for each of these. These are kind of the main categories, if you will, of what I look at. And then there's just a lot going on underneath the hood with these, within every single aspect of these bullet points. And I will kind of talk through those as we go along right now. So I will also have this in the description, or you can just screenshot it right now, but this is the checklist that I use to optimize law firm websites. So let's just jump right into the example that I have up here. So it is J. Trent Lehman, attorney at law, and I'll show you, this is the first page. So Google real estate lawyer, Nashville, Tennessee, and this is the Google map pack. At the start, there's actually no ads running for this, so that'd be a great opportunity to run some Google ads here. Justia is number one. They're a huge directory. Then there's that Pepper Law that I was talking about. They are pepperlaw.com. And then if you go to the second page here, here is I think it's J. Trent Lehman, attorney at law, right here, ranking at the bottom of the second page. And judging by Ahrefs and all the competition, I don't think I would have any issue popping this into the top 10 over a few months or so, just based on the competition and what's going on. So I'm going to take you through, as I said, my full process starting right now. So first up is looking at the page speed. I always look at the technicals first, because if your website doesn't load quickly, Google's not going to rank at the top. You need to look at it as Google is a for-profit company, and they want to supply the best results for their clients, and their clients are the searchers. So if your website doesn't load, Google's not going to want to present your website to its searchers, because that makes Google look bad. So you want to make sure that your website loads quickly, and that will definitely help you. That's kind of like the foundation that will help your website grow from there. So this is a Google product right here. Google made this, and it's a way for you to check the speed of your website, and it gives you a nice breakdown of the technicals that are going on in your website. So I've already plugged it in here. And on mobile, I will say I've looked at hundreds and hundreds of websites. It's very difficult to get the mobile speed above 70 or 75. I think 60, 65, 70 is a great number for mobile. It's just very difficult to get above that with mobile. So this is a great number here. I'm completely fine with that. And then 95 is excellent. I like to say anything 85 and above is all good for me. But obviously 90 plus is fantastic. So from a technical standpoint, they're doing very well. So that is the first check on our list, is just go through page speed, just make sure the technicals are all good. And then metadata. So let's go look what's going on with the metadata. So this right here is called the meta title, and then this right here is called the meta description. So what you want is to look at your main keyword and then look at your meta title and see, do they match? Because what Google's doing is looking at text. Google's analyzing text in your metadata. Google is analyzing text on your website and trying to determine what your website is actually about. And if you look at something like Wikipedia, Wikipedia is all text. Google doesn't really look at the design it doesn't really look at the design at all. It's analyzing what text on your website. So if you want to tell Google and make it very clear, hey, this website or this page on my website is about real estate lawyers in Nashville, Tennessee, then you need to make sure that you have that keyword in your meta title on your website. And that's kind of what part of this list goes through. I'm going to talk about having your keyword in your H1, having your keyword in your other H tags in your content, and so on. So starting with the meta title here, residential real estate lawyer in Nashville, Tennessee, Trent Lehman, I'm completely fine with that. I would take the residential part out, even though yes, it is specific to what they do, but I like having the main keyword at the very beginning. It just makes it super simple. This is not bad at all. This is actually completely fine. I would be okay with this, but I would just kind of take out the residential part and just leave real estate lawyer in Nashville, Tennessee, Trent Lehman. I'm fine with that. So we represent buyers, sellers. So they don't have their main keyword in their meta description here. The meta description actually does not really play a part in your rankings. Google will actually change this. Even if you do set your meta description, Google does have a tendency in the history of just pulling some sort of text snippet from your website and inserting it here. So it doesn't really play a role, but you definitely want to have it your main keyword here, because if it is bolded, sometimes that'll help with click-through rate. So you definitely want to just make sure you have your main keyword in your meta description, and definitely a strong call to action. I do like having the phone number here, just makes it easier. So that's something that I would adjust there. So that's metadata and page speed. So let's go jump to some on page. So I have the website pulled up right here. As you can see, it is definitely an older design. This to me looks like an early 2090s website, but they do keep it updated, obviously. So copyright 2025. So again, design does not matter. From a technical standpoint, it loads well, and as long as they have everything they need on their website, then they're going to be doing this fine. The design helps 100% with click-through rate for sure, and in building trust. But for SEO and ranking wise, it's not too big of a deal. Step one would be getting it to rank. Step two would be getting your website to convert, and that's more of a design and copywriting sector or facet of marketing right there. So just moving along here, we're going to start with we're going to move on to analyzing the H1. So I have this Google plugin here that shows me the meta title of the page, the meta description of the page, and also all the headers. So as we already looked at the meta title, so it looks like they may have changed it recently, and the plugin hasn't updated because it says Nashville residential real estate attorney, but when we look here, it says residential real estate lawyer in Nashville, Tennessee. So they have corrected it, which I like. But let's go and see what the header is. So the H1 is the most important text on your website, and you definitely want to make sure that you have your keyword here. And they do have partly their keyword Nashville residential real estate, and then they also have the second H1 residential real estate lawyer in Nashville, Tennessee. This one is much more correct. And just a little note: you only want to have one H1 on your website, or on your page, on each page. So one H1 per page. It's just a best practice there. You don't want to have two. You don't want to make it any harder for Google to understand what your website's about. So I would definitely, if I was in control of this website, I would take away this H1, change it to something else, and then switch it to an H2, just like these are. And then they also have these H2s. Excuse me, let's just jump back to this H1 real quick. So we went through, looked at the H1. Now let's jump into the other H tags. So just remember that if you go look at your own website and make sure that none of your pages have two H1s, and make sure that your main keyword is in the H1 there. So going down to the H2s, they do only have two, and this page is very thin on content, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later, or in a little bit, but let's just move on or continue with these header tags here. So does Tennessee require an attorney for real estate? What is a ladybird deed real estate transaction? So what I like to do here when I'm analyzing the other H tags is just see if there's a variation of the keyword. So something that would be good for a keyword like this. So the main keyword is real estate lawyer in Nashville, Tennessee. So what I would like to do is have real estate attorney in Nashville as an H2, and then maybe I like to have two variations of the keyword. So I have the real main keyword in the H1, and then a different variation in one H2, another variation in another H2, and that's it. I don't do any more than that. I found that's been working for the websites that I work with. And you definitely do not want to over optimize in 2025. Google is very, very intelligent, and they built a great algorithm that can tell what your website's about without overstuffing and making it like too obvious that you're trying to rank. You want to make sure that you keep all the content in your website more focused towards helping the searcher, because that's what Google wants to see in 2025. So for this H2, I would change this to something along the lines of like top real estate attorney in Nashville. And then I would add a couple sections here because two H2s just isn't enough. And then I would maybe add, for another variation of the keyword, I would say like top, or some sort of adjective plus attorney, Nashville real estate lawyer. So instead of this is the main keyword, real estate lawyer in Nashville, we do real estate attorney in Nashville, and then we can have Nashville attorney, real estate attorney. So something like that, just different variations of your main keyword. So that is kind of getting through half of it right now. So we're moving right along. I'm going to jump into the content section. So what do I look for when I look into the content? First of all is how many words are on the page. My rule of thumb is just at least 1,000. And if it's a very competitive area, that can get to 2,000 or even 3,000 at times. It's pretty rare, but if it's needed, it's needed. It's not just random content that we're throwing in there. It is content that is actually useful to the user and content that will help the page and show Google that we know what we're talking about, and we are doing whatever we can and giving as much info as we can to help the searcher. So what do I see at first glance? This is not enough content at all. I think this is one of the reasons that they're ranking so poorly, is because they just don't have enough content on this page. There's not enough here for Google to say like, oh, this is something that they want to rank or put at the top of their search engine. So as you can see, these are the two H tags that we looked at. That are right here. What I would do is definitely add more sections and add more content to get this up to at least 1,000. Well, I'll look at the competitors here in a sec, so you can kind of see what they're doing in the top spots. But yeah, on first glance, this definitely is not going to be enough content. You're going to want to add a few more sections, at least 2 or 3 more sections. And then next thing, what I like to look for in the content is, does it include some parts of the keyword here? So let's just skim through this, and I'm not seeing, so I see attorney, that's about it. I see real estate transactions, residential, commercial real estate. So it's not really connecting the Nashville and the real estate attorney. So I'm not going to give it a pass there. I'm not really seeing what I'm looking for. I see Tennessee here, Tennessee attorney. That's actually an H tag. So let's keep it just focused on the content for now. I see attorney for real estate transactions. That's getting close. I see another Tennessee here, but not a lot of Nashville on this page. we represent. So this is actually where it looks like this is where Google pulled that meta description from. I see real estate transactions again, and down here, Tennessee real estate attorney. So they have basically one time in their content where they put the entire, and it's not even Nashville, it's just Tennessee. So it's only one time where I've seen close to the full keyword in the content. So that's definitely something that I would change if I was in control of this website. I would, first of all, add more different content sections and just add more useful information. And with doing that, you'd easily be able to add more instances of your main keyword within that content. And again, definitely wouldn't overstuff the content with your main keywords. Just use it naturally. Maybe like 2, 3, or like 3, 4 times is good enough, and that will be sufficient for you. So those are my checks for content there. And then moving on to GBP. So I can see here that they do not have their Google Business Profile embedded on their website. The Google Business Profile has to do with, go back to the first page here. Google Business Profile has to do with ranking in this map pack here. So if they do have a Google Business Profile, if they don't have a Google Business Profile, they should definitely make one, or you should definitely make one if you don't have one. It is completely free. It's a Google product. So plugging the Google product into your website is definitely a positive trust factor for Google. Embedding the GBP does a ton for your website, not just building authority, but if you have great reviews, it will also pull in the reviews, so you can see those. Prospective clients can see those on your website as well. And overall, just attaching a Google product to your website while Google's crawling that, it will see that and say, okay, this is helpful for us because it's promoting a product that they own themselves. So it helps all around with authority and ranking, and it's free. So it's definitely something that everyone should go do or go create if you haven't done that already. And as you can see, they do not have the Google My Business or Google Business Profile embedded on their website. So if I was in control of this, as one of the first things I would do, I would help them create one, and then I would also embed it in the footer of their website, so it's on all pages. Let's just check real quick at the homepage. This is actually one of their service pages here. Let's just check the homepage. So no, the homepage does not have one either. So that is definitely something I would do. And that is something that's missing here. So social links as well. At minimum, I would just create a Facebook page. Even if you don't use it, just creating a Facebook page, filling out your Facebook page with all the same like address and phone number and email. It's called NAP, information, name, address, phone. Filling out your Facebook page and then linking that to your website as well is another trust factor and just another slight authority boost for you. And it gives Google more information about your business and another link to crawl from your website. So that's another thing I would do, is create a simple Facebook page. You really don't even need to use it. You just want to make sure that you have all the same information, meaning your same address, your same phone number, and your same email, and then have it linked somewhere on your website. So that's another thing that I would do for this business. And then, so that is GBP, and I touched on social links as well. There are other social links like Yelp. I don't necessarily tell my clients to get a Yelp account. I'm a little iffy. It definitely helps with embedding and building trust and whatnot, but sometimes Yelp can be a little bit difficult to deal with. And sometimes I don't know. I usually, if the client wants to or they already have one, perfect. I usually would not suggest to. I would just kind of let it be. But Facebook for sure is a nice simple one. But there are a ton of others that you can look into. And then so moving on to site structure and URL structure. So site structure just basically has to do with how easy it is to get around your site. And so this, I would say, is not really doing it for me here. These are kind of hard to see, and they're not, these aren't even actually their links here. So they have no nav bar, which makes it pretty difficult to move around. They also seem to just link out their service pages in this way, which is completely fine. Google sees these links and knows what to do with them and knows and understands the kind of the navigation of your website. But just for user experience, I would like to see a nav bar up here to make it easier. They also do have their links on the side here. So what do they actually have? Business. So they have practice areas listed here. Let's see if they have an actual. So they don't have an actual practice area page. They just link out to all their services from here. Do they link the same services? Residential real estate, commercial real estate, real estate. So residential, commercial. It does seem like they link out to the same things on this page. Business law state. Let's see if they have all of them. No, so they don't even link out to all of their services on this page. They just kind of have this side nav bar. So I would like to see. I would change the way this is set up here. I wouldn't have all these some of your services linked just like this, and then have all of them linked here. I would definitely change this around. Let's jump into one of these pages here. So that's the one we were already looking at. Let's look at actually. Let's go back into the page we were looking at, since this is our main keyword. So for URL structure, just so I can give you some definitive info to take with you on URL structure, main thing to look at is, one, you definitely want to have a nav bar, and two, you want to have a service dropdown. So they do have that here, so I guess I can't really dock them too much. And like I said earlier, Google is not looking at the design. The design is more for the user experience and conversion rate. So they do have this. What I would like to see, and it is actually a drop down. So what I would like to see also is an actual practice area page. So what they could do is leave all these links out of the content on their homepage, and instead create a practice area page, which is basically would be this, where they link out within the practice area page. And then from there, the user can navigate to each of the specific services. But so let's go back into here. This does not seem to link out to anything other than contact form. So let's moving on. So that's site structure. And then let's move on to the URL structure here. So this is not going to do it for me. Nashville, actually, it's not too bad. So they just have some weird HTML going on the end here. Nashville TN residential real estate lawyer. I would change this to the exact keyword. So what I would do is change this URL to real estate lawyer Nashville TN. So they're getting close. I mean, they have their main keyword in there, and that's the main thing I'm looking for when I look at the URL structure. Let's just look a few more here. Nashville, Tennessee, business formation lawyers. That's fine. And it seems like they're doing the same thing. I just like to have the main service first, just because that's naturally how people tend to search, is for the actual service, and then search for the location there. So they're doing pretty. They're fine. I mean, this should be fine. I would change it because if you can be perfect, you might as well. So I would change this just to make it perfect. So but the URL structure is fine. Main thing with URL structures, you want to make sure that you have your main keyword in your URL, which they do. So that's fine. And that is the end right there. So I just went through this list pretty quickly and did a pretty high level overview. There's a ton more that I can touch on. If there's anything specific that you want me to dive into further within this list, or just anything else, any questions you have, please put them in the comments. I have no issue diving into any of this. I really enjoy looking through these websites and going through these audits for you, and just helping you guys learn and see that it is definitely valuable to pay attention to SEO, and there are certain things that you can do that will help you a ton in moving up those rankings. So I do hope that you found this useful. Again, any questions, feel free to put in the comments, and there will also be in the description a link to book a free 30-minute strategy session with me, where I will go through your website live with you and give you my suggestions and let you know what I see. And you can click that link. There'll be a Calendly link in the description for you to book that if you would like to have me go through your website with you one-on-one. Yeah, so that's all I have for you today. Hope this was useful. Hope you have a great day. Thanks. Bye.